Howdy folks, this is Uncle Bill again here from Deadpit.com. Just got back from watching TNA, Total Non-Stop Action Wrestling in Pikeville, Kentucky, and from what I've heard from just about everybody, they've done two shows in Pikeville, and the first show was supposed to be a lot better. I know I liked the lineup for the first show a lot better. It had Kurt Angle in the main event. I didn't get to see the first show. I was busy the day that it came around Friday night, I think, which wasn't good. So this time it was on Sunday afternoon. It's like Sunday at 4. So went and checked it out. Main event was Jeff Jarrett and Team 3D versus Beer Money Inc., who I'd never heard of at that point, in Booker T. So I liked the show, though. I mean, actually the first couple of matches were better than the main event, really. There was a couple of matches in there, including one with old, what the hell was his name? Consequences Creed, that was pretty good, which I'd never even heard of that guy. He's working the Apollo Creed riff there. That's his new gimmick, I guess, but never heard of him. There was some. I actually like the women's match on there, but I'm a big ODB fan. I think she's got one of the best gimmicks as far as women wrestlers go, especially going today. But that's not what this video is about. I'm praying to God that this video will actually work. The last couple of times that I've done videos, they've cut off short, and this hasn't saved, and it's just been a huge pain in the ass. But this video is a video response. I think this is the first video response that I've ever done. It's going to be a video response to old Runk Russell himself, the Runkinator, Grandmaster Runk. His top 25 horror films of this past decade. I don't have 25, sir. I'm sorry. I tried really, really hard to come up with 25, but shit didn't work. I can't really come up with 25 of anything of any decade. Maybe the 80s, but that would be stretching it. So this is going to be my top 15 from the last decade. In response to Russ's video, we've got a lot of the same picks, actually, because I think we may possibly share the same brain. Mine may be a little lighter on the ethanol, but nonetheless, we got a lot of the same taste. So good show to you, sir. Let's go ahead and get started. Number 15, Gingersnaps. This was a modern day take on a werewolf movie, crossbred with like a coming of age teenage girl drama, where I think the use of the girls turning into werewolves is kind of like a metaphor for coming into puberty and all this different stuff. But it worked on a lot of different levels. It worked on that psychological level. It also worked on the kind of visceral gut level response stuff to the makeup effects in the film, which are really good. Isabel, I always remember her. I always forget her name. Isabel something, who was like the lead in the film, was really, really good. Does a great job in it. So that's Gingersnaps. Highly recommend you check that out. Number 14 would be Fido, which is the movie that I think George Romero wants to make, but just can't seem to do it for some reason. It's a zombie film, but it's kind of set in the 50s. I know it's the look is the 50s. I think that's when it's set, where all the zombies have been turned into basically like household appliances. Like everybody wants the new zombie because the zombies have collars on them now, where you can get them to do anything that you want them to do. They can be your maids or your gardeners, or they're domesticated as long as they have this collar on, and they kind of like take the place of household pets, hence the name Fido. And this kid and his family get one to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak, and all the mayhem that ensues out of that, and what happens when they break loose out of their collars. And the comedian that plays Fido in the film, I'm blanking on his name too. I'm not doing good with names today. It's Billy Connolly. Yeah, he's a comedian, and he's Scottish, but he never really gets to speak in the film. But he does a great job in the role of Fido. It's like a Shaun of the Dead style movie, though. It's not to be taken seriously. So number 13, moving on past Fido, going on to number 13 will be Rusty Nails' Joyride, which is more of a suspense drama film than I guess it is a horror film. There's some horror elements in there. It's about a group of kids that take this cross country trip, and they end up pissing off a homicidal truck driver who follows them around the whole time, like a la Duel. And except in this one, he's not just trying to get them and kill them and stuff like he was in Duel. He actually wants to embarrass them, and he makes them run, like, do all these different tasks. Otherwise, he'll kill them, or he'll kill one of their friends and all this stuff. Like, he makes them go into a diner naked, and it's just that guy. It's the guy, the Levinson guy, that was the voice of, or not the voice. He's been the voice for a lot of different things, but he was Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs. Just that voice is what made this movie, I think. It wasn't necessarily Steve Zahn or anybody else in the movie. It was, although Leela Sobieski is nice, it was that voice. So check that one out. Number 12. This one threw me for a curve because I was thinking, like, trying to remember if this movie came out in the 2000s, and I'm thinking that it had to. I'll go back and look afterwards because that's how much I'm into research. Terra Firma, Troma's film, just because this movie does not care, and I respect that in a movie. It does not care that it is so over the top and so completely offensive to just about everybody. It is what I would consider the quintessential, the summit of all Troma films. This is it. Like, it combines all that stuff into one film that makes Troma great. Terra Firma. Number 11 is Saw. I don't know what I could say about Saw that hasn't been said by a million other people. The original Saw was a great film. I don't give a shit. It had a good ending. It was dark. It started all the films to look like somebody pissed on the film negative and gave it that yellow color. So I hate it for that, but I gotta respect the film itself. Number 10, Jeepers Creepers. I know Victor Salva, the director of the film, is a child molester. Do I respect that, or do I kind of, am I at peace with that? No, but does it have anything to do with this film, in my opinion? No. If Adolf Hitler directed a film and it was as good as Jeepers Creepers, it would still be a good film. It's the film. I don't care. I just don't care. I like Roman Polanski stuff. I don't care. It's about the films, folks. Calm the fuck down about everything else. Jeepers Creepers was a great return to, like, monster filmmaking, which is why I love it. It had the Creeper, which I'm actually looking at right now. I've got a Creeper figure up here. It was one of the best monsters, new age monsters to come out. I like Justin Long in the film. I thought he was a really sympathetic, good character. I liked the death scenes in the film. I thought the cop sequence where he kisses his severed head and all that stuff was great. I didn't like the psychic in it, but that's nitpicking. It was just a good old monster, 50s, 60s style monster film. So I respect it for that. Number 9 is a film that a lot of people didn't like. I love this film. I thought it gave me hope that this guy could return back to form when people like Craven, Carpenter, Romero can't. Mother of Tears is my number 9. Dario Argento film, picked up beautifully from the Three Mothers trilogy. Or actually completed the Three Mothers trilogy, but picked up beautifully from the other films. I just thought it had gore, it had the atmosphere, it didn't make any sense, which was great. That's what you want in an Argento film. It was a perfect bookend to the other films in that series. I don't know why a lot of people don't like this film. I guess it's the CG, and there is some silly stuff with Daria Nicolodi, who's a fairy thing in it that's kind of hokey, but still, it's a great film. Number 8, Grindhouse in general, but specifically Death Proof. Everybody likes Planet Terror. A lot of people bitch about Death Proof. There's too much talking in it. To me, it was really, really original and really good. Well thought out, well executed. The ending is something you never see coming in a million years. Great ending, great stunt work. Zoe Bell, I think is it Zoe Bell or Zoe? It's Zoe something anyway. She's a stunt woman that does a lot of her own stunts in this film as well as acts in it. She's great. the sequence where just the fact that the guy uses a car to kill people, but not like you would think, not like Christine style. The stuntman character was great in it. Number 7, Final Destination. I would actually put Final Destination 2 in there as well. I like both those movies about equally. I might even like Final Destination 2 better. The only difference is what happens as far as how they die in the films. In part 1, it was a airplane crash. In part 2, it was a car crash, or like a multi-car collision. I thought that part 2, as far as setting up the action sequences, was a lot better. I thought that the atmosphere in part 1 was a lot better. So any of those Final Destination 1 and 2 kind of side by side with me, really. Number 6, saw this movie in the theater. Love this movie. Unfortunately, haven't liked anything else that he's done after this, but Devil's Rejects, Rob Zombie's number 6. Great exploitation film. He should be doing this all the time. Exploitation films is his forte. Rob Zombie, please go back to that and stop with the Halloween movies. Make something that's actually that grindhouse 70s style, which is what you're good at. I think that was where he excelled. It's the only reason this movie worked. House of Thousand Corpses didn't work because it was almost trying to be a real movie. Halloween definitely didn't work because it was ripping off a really, really good movie, a really well-made movie. So Devil's Rejects worked. Number 5, though, I've got some visual aids for here. Once we get to number 5, American Psycho. You cannot front on this movie. You cannot bullshit with this. Before he started cursing out every one of the light people, before he turned into like the lead douchebag of the year. Well, actually, he probably was a douchebag when he was doing this, but you just didn't know about it as well then. But, yeah, Christian Bale turns in what I would consider to actually be like an Oscar-worthy performance as Patrick Bateman. And he's just a yuppie, narcissistic, self-absorbed guy who either one of two things going on in this film, and you never figure out which one it is. He's either dreaming of, because he hates his life so much, dreaming about what it would be like to kill all these women that he comes in contact with and kill all these people. He has these death fantasies, or he's really killing all these. He's like a businessman by day and a serial killer by night. But either way, the performance that he gives in this movie is just amazing. And the kind of social subtext in the film is really, really, it really makes you think. So on with number 4. I've seen this movie. I think this movie may be the one I've seen the most out of all these movies. Every time I watch this movie, it gets better. I never get tired of seeing it. It's classic and hilarious and scary as well. Shaun of the Dead. I can't even tell you. I didn't like this movie that much when I saw it in theaters, but I've noticed that with Edgar Wright stuff, like the more I watch it, the more I like his stuff. I go back and watch. I went back and watched Hot Fuzz because I didn't like it that much the first time. Ended up loving that movie. Watched it like 5 or 6 times. Probably seen this movie 10 or 15 times now. It grows on you like crazy. You miss stuff within the film, like the subtle dialogue stuff, the way that the film's constructed. He's like an excellent filmmaker. Simon Pegg's an excellent writer. Nick Frost is an excellent comedic actor. It just all works. And that movie works on almost every level. If there's a movie that hits every cylinder, that would be it. It is a horror comedy, though. I'll say that. If you really want to know what it's about, you should probably check it out. But it's along the lines of what would happen if, like, Day of the Dead was, or no, I'll say more like Night of the Living Dead was comedic. That would be it. Number 3, I don't know how this got put this way, but I guess this would be my number 3, even though I absolutely love this movie. It's hard once you get up to the top 3. Inside. Beatrice Dahl is terrifying in this movie. And from what I understand, she's the killer in the film. She's hunting a pregnant woman throughout the entire film, and you never really know why until the end. But from what I understand about Beatrice Dahl, she's actually really kind of nutty in real life. I mean, she's very eccentric. and that's why the directors picked her to be the star of the film. And you want to talk about like a Halloween style creating tension, but with the payoffs of gore, this is the film you want to see. My second favorite, I was actually turned on to this film by my girlfriend, and yes, I do have a girlfriend, if you can believe that. I'd never even heard of it. It's one of the few horror films that I hadn't heard of, but a lot of people reference it now. I can never get this film out of my head now that I've seen it. Session 9, directed by Brad Anderson, who is an amazing director. He also directed The Machinist. Jesus. You want to talk about creating an atmosphere in a movie. This movie is complete atmosphere. It's the story of like a hazmat team that goes into this old asylum to clean it up, and there's a serial killer in there, but everything's not what it seems. They start getting picked off one by one, but in really creepy, kind of eerie ways. And you don't know in the middle of the film if it's like a haunting film or if it's a serial killer film. And there's these weird session tapes from like psychological counseling session style tapes that are playing throughout the film. It's just a very doom-inspiring film, and David Caruso is off the fucking chain. Even though I hate NYPD Blue, he's still awesome. My number one pick, trying to keep this film under 17 minutes, won't be able to do it. The film that got me back into horror films, probably more so than any other film, I gotta give it credit. High Tension. It's my number one pick. It's exactly what it says. It is high tension. I've actually got autographs from both the lead females in this film. That's how much I like the film. Cecilia DeFrance, who's this chick right here. Amazing performance in the film. Gives a dual layer performance, I'll say that. A very... just had such high hopes for this film. It's a slasher film, basically. It's like a psychological slasher film about a girl that goes to visit her parents, or two girls that they're at this woman's parents' house when this guy breaks in and just starts to fucking go crazy on the whole family. And just the way the sequences were shot, they're so awe-inspiring. Alexander Aja, had such high hopes for him as being a director, and then he went on and did remakes and stuff, but that film was just absolutely classic. Almost make you want to go back to the 70s Dario Argento-esque style films. So that's it. It's been 18 minutes. I'm sure half of this won't even fucking save, and I've wasted all my time doing this, but I hope it does, because I want everybody to see this. Thanks to Crater. It was great to meet you at the TNA show tonight. As always, thanks to Justin, everybody else that met us and talked to us and knew us from Deadpit. Check out all these films. Check me out at deadpit.com. Check out the show. Check out the documentary, Into the Pit the movie. Check out Slasher Club, just because Runk gave me the idea for this. And peace out.